What's up, guys? Christian Van Buren here, co-founder of Ripple Effect Fatherhood. First off, thank you for being here. We hope that this dialogue around the positivities of fatherhood impacts at least one person. So we're glad that you're here, and we hope that you spread the message, like, share, and subscribe. But today we have a very special guest on. I thought it was super important that this next guest was my very next interview. We absolutely had to do this interview because, you know, this person was very essential to my development as a man. And, you know, and they're just really great at what they do as far as leading people, leading by example, and mentorship. And so with that being said, without further ado, go ahead and introduce yourself, special guest.
Hi, name's Rachel COTTO.
Yes, yes.
As you all know, I know Christian, my son.
Yes, that is my guys. And first off, like, Mom, I want everybody to know that. First, let me ask you, Mom, have you ever been interviewed like this before?
No.
Okay.
No.
And so this is your first time doing this. This is my second time. So this isn't supposed to, you know what I mean? Like, this is gonna look like it's our first and second time, but that's okay, because like we were talking about earlier, what's important is the dialogue and what we're putting out. We're not trying to impress nobody here. You know what I mean? No. We're rookies. We're not trying to hide it, right? Yep. But yes, like she said, guys, this is my wonderful, amazing, beautiful mother, Rachel COTTO. Man, I can't even begin to explain how special this interview is to me. Especially just to get it out there, right? Like I told you guys, you know, like we talked about in our why video that me and Maddie posted, you know, this is, we're just looking to serve as many people as possible. And I think that this interview will definitely speak to a lot of people out there. And so, Mom, I'm just super excited to have you here. Again, thank you for your time. And, you know, this is just going to be something that really hopefully impacts a lot of people as we begin to grow, and people, you know, go back to look at our, you know, initial content, like, hey, you know, well, you know, let me look at the first few videos that they did, you know, just to see what's out there. By the way, I am a rookie again. I know I said, you know, a lot in our first video, and I've already said it a lot so far. So just keep in mind, I'm trying to be cognizant of it, right? And not say it as much, but we're working on it. We're working on it. But yes. All right. So this interview is, again, the purpose of our organization is to create and expand a movement that inspires, promotes, and encourages the presence of a positive fatherhood experience in the lives of everyone. And in my opinion, right, you know, you can have a biological father, you can have a father figure, or you can have somebody that fills that fatherhood role if the father, biological father, or, you know, a male father figure is not present. And this point of this interview is to just talk to my mom and see what her experiences were, her positive experiences, and having to fill that fatherhood role in my life. Okay. So, yes, mom of almost 26 years. You ready to get into it?
Yep.
All right, beautiful mother. So my first question for you, okay, is, in your experience as a single mother, okay, why do you think fatherhood is an essential and or important part of someone's life, young or old?
Well, I think having two parents in general really does help mentally, and when it comes to the discipline. A father in the picture is important because, I mean, it's some things that you just don't know as a new mother. So yeah, so you learn some stuff. Like me, I wasn't big into all the physical sports as far as football, basketball, and all that. I like track. I enjoy being in track and that simple stuff. But I I just think it's nice to have a male figure that that can probably explain more and show you when it comes to the physical part of sports, and then the discipline too. You know, that's really important because it's more stress on one parent, you know, and it just make things harder. It makes it more difficult to have patience if you're just that one parent raising that kid and no father around. So yeah.
Hey, mom. First off, okay, couple things that I want to mention. First off, I thought that was an amazing answer. Okay. Um, yes, I loved the your perspective on the importance of fatherhood and having a father figure. You know, typically biological father or just somebody to fill that role, right? So that one person isn't trying to do both. But I do want to say she maybe downplayed herself a little bit by saying simple stuff with track. My mom she was a stud when it comes to track, right? And I know it took some practice. I know it took some dedication. So it's not as physically involved as football and stuff, but tell you what, like she was on point with it. But I will I will touch on that too, because me growing up without my dad present, my mom, she mentioned football. So I played football, I played basketball, and then I didn't compete as a wrestler, but I practiced with them, and then I practiced with the track team because our football coach made us do it. In order to become better football players, it made sense. But with that being said, I not having a not having my dad present, um, it was it was tough at times, right? Because you go to your football games, you want to do well, and when you do well, you feel good about it. But after the games, in my personal experience, just kind of seeing other my teammates interact with their dads after the game. It always, I wouldn't say it made me feel negative emotions, but like I could feel it's like something was missing. You know what I mean? And it didn't really do any, like I said, it didn't really do anything to, I guess, hinder me mentally, but like I was aware of it. And so I will say that I think that that's a really big, I think that's a really important part of, a child's life, especially if they're involved in sports or some kind of activity, to have that support from their parents. In my case, maybe not in the case of everybody else, but all my teammates were other boys who I saw interacting with their dads uh, after the games, before the games, during the games. And so, like I said, with my dad not being present, it always felt like, some like I was missing a little piece of joy, I would say, just from what I saw. I don't know if that's the actual right way to say it, but just from what I saw. And I don't bring that out as like a negative thing. I bring it out as like, hey, you dads out there that, are wondering, or maybe you just go to the games and you don't, maybe it's become some sort of like a normalcy to you, to where you don't realize the impact that your presence at that game actually makes, or the presence at that practice actually makes. If you're a dad who's a coach and you're coaching your son's or your daughter's team, the impact that your presence actually makes. It's really special, and it's really important. So I just want to touch on that. But Okay, moms, love it. So what were some of the positive things that you learned from having to fill the fatherhood role in my life the best that you could?
Well, some of the positive things. Well, well, in my opinion, now I know some parents out there, even even single parents raising a kid by themselves, work one, two, and three jobs. Um, on a positive note, for me, that's not something I wanted. Um, I could have, but I didn't want to miss that time raising you. So one job was enough for me. Even though I was struggling, one job so that my focus could also be raising you and not looking back at regrets because I worked so much. I was too busy working. I didn't have time to focus on raising my kid. That's just not something I wanted and
Gotcha.
didn't do. So I just stuck with one job, and that's a positive for me. I don't regret that.
Man. Um, that is yeah, that's man. You definitely, guys, that's actually my first time hearing her explain that that way. Um, because yeah, we did struggle, right? Like
Mhm.
we did struggle. But I never knew that's crazy. I never knew until now that there was intent behind it, you know, and man, that just that makes you feel a certain way, you know what I mean? So and I'll let you guys know, full disclaimer, right? I may get a little emotional during this video. This is my mom, and so I'm not afraid to to get emotional because of what she's been through and what she's done for me. Um, because obviously I wouldn't be sitting here doing this, trying to impact so many lives if she hadn't have made the sacrifices that she did. So that's crazy. So with that being said, first off, let me touch on that too. Um, yes, we struggled. She worked, and I do want to put it out there that I know she's not taking away from, the people out there who, may feel like, or maybe in a situation to where they have to work two jobs, have to work three jobs. She's not taking away from that at all. You got to do what you got to do. However, we're here to talk about, personal experience, right? And just shed light on, our personal experience. And in her personal experience, she was in a position to where she could afford to work one job and us still have a roof over our head, which is what she did. And like I said, like me finding out, right, I mean, I guess if I think back, like it makes sense, but like me hearing you say it right now, that there was intent behind that because you wanted to be present for like in order to raise me, and so that even gets me deeper into the fact that her filling that fatherhood role in my life, her presence, right, in the absence of my biological father, she was able to give me certain lessons that I carried into manhood, that I didn't get from my dad, right? That I didn't get from my biological father. So I think that what you just mentioned is a huge positive, and I think a takeaway for most people is to not take for granted the time that you do have to spend with your kids and raising your kids, because you are making an impact every little moment. I can speak from experience that me having a kid now, I know that at sometimes it can feel like, it doesn't always feel like you're making an impact in your kid's life. However, the time that you are spending it means something and it's important, right? I have a tattoo on on my forearm here that says time holds value. That's something that I live by. That's something that's really important to me. And I think that the time that a parent spends with their child holds value. And I think that the time dedicated to fatherhood, especially if you're a single mother who has to fill that role, holds a ton of value. So, okay, next question. All right, before I start getting crazy, I have to, glasses getting all blurry and stuff. All right, how does it feel, okay, now that I have a child of my own? I have a son, for those of you who didn't watch our why video that we posted recently. How does it feel now that I have a child of my own to know that your influence in my life will impact his positive experience of fatherhood?
Well, I mean, it feels good, and I hope, and well, I there's no doubt in my mind that you will raise him well, and you will remember a lot. So, I mean, I know I was strict with you, but sometimes I felt I had to be strict because I'm the only parent. I'm working and struggling, so I there has to be some strict guidelines, But too strict I was, but I don't regret 90% of the discipline. So yeah, so I'm happy that you have a son now you can raise to, and you'll be there, which is good. He has two parents, so you'll be there in his life, and yeah, so
Hmm.
you all will raise him to be a good man. So I'm positive on that.
I love you, Mom.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Yeah. So uh trying to hold back, right? So that I can at least get my words out. But no, I definitely want to, the discipline that my mom she was strict, right? She was strict, but I'll tell you what though, it so and I'm not saying this is only a father's role. However, you mentioned in the first question that, a father can definitely help with the discipline, right? And so I think that your method of discipline, I'd say your commitment to discipline, right? Because I don't think it's always easy to discipline your kids. It's not always easy, but I think your commitment to it was probably the biggest character development, the most impactful character development that I received growing up. Because I don't know, I can't even, and I don't want to draw this out any longer by trying to find the words, but I will say that one, I'm not conceited by any means. However, I have received a lot of compliments over the years, from teachers, from parents of friends, from coaches, that, and they say, he's well-behaved kid, very respectful, stuff like that. I've received a lot of awards, from the military, from sports. And Mom, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but whenever I get awards, right, I call you and I tell you like, hey Mom, I just want to let you know, like, I won these awards, I got these awards, but I also want to let you know that these are your awards. You know what I'm saying? Like these awards on my wall right here, like they're not my awards. These are all military awards. They're not mine. Those are your awards because of the character traits that you kind of molded into me. Now, obviously, I believe God used you to mold me, right? But yes, in using you, you were able to, your commitment to discipline molded my character in such a way that one, I always put, respect first when it came to my elders, right? Now I'm not saying I'm perfect by any means, and I got in trouble at sometimes, right? I got in trouble quite a bit when I was a young kid, but I always knew to respect my elders, respect. If I would go over to a friend's house or something like that, respect their parents, respect their house. Partially because of the discipline, right? I knew if I didn't, I knew what I was going home to. So that too, but also, you instilled a character trait in me that is having a certain amount of respect for myself. And so having a certain amount of respect for myself in anything that I do. So in football, I told myself, like, if I'm not giving 100%, like, you know what I mean? Like, do I, that's not what my mom taught me. You know what I mean? Like, she would expect me to give 100% in the military. She'd expect me to give 100%, if I'm doing a competition or whatever. So I think that the discipline, your commitment to discipline was very important. And I think that a lot of the character traits that I carried over as a man, like into manhood, and character traits that I will transfer over to my son, hopefully, through teaching him and molding him, as a father, I think that a lot of that came from you. And that's why I love the fact that we're able to do this interview to touch on the part of this organization that is, hey, a mom can fill that fatherhood role in a successful way as well. So I hope, maybe successful is not the right word to do that, but just in a very beneficial way, So, okay. So in your opinion, how important is it to take the experience of not having a present father or father figure and make it work for your good? How important is that?
Very important. I mean, how committed do you want to be? I mean, how bad do you want to be in your kid's life and raise his kid um, um, the way a kid should be raised? No, I'm not good at explaining, but
Got it, moms.
it's very important. How bad do you want to be in your kid's life, raising your kid right, and doing what you know is right, doing the job? Are you up for the job?
I love
Yes, I was up for the job big time. So
I love that. I love that.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, and guys, just her saying that, her being up for the job and what we've already talked about, she has done, was, I think that was a big help in me uh taking my experience of not having a father or not having a present, my biological father be present, and turning it into something beneficial for me, right? Which is what we're doing here. Um, our organization is not to build any resentment towards biological fathers or father figures, stepfathers, whatever, that choose not to be present. Our goal here is to empower people, encourage people to, if you're in that situation, make it work for your benefit. Let's talk about the positives behind fatherhood, especially if you're a male or somebody that's going to take on a fatherhood role, father figure role. Let's talk about the positives. That way, you going into that role, you already have it in your mind, what the positives are. We already know what the struggles are of fatherhood, which is why it's such a big issue in our society of fathers not being present. So let's highlight the positives, right? With people like my mom, who just immerse themselves in the role because they're just up for the job. And then they get to experience all those positive things. And now she's here talking about it and how it benefited her, how it benefited me, and how we hope that it benefits so many other people out there. So I think that was an amazing answer, Mom. And guys, before I ask her this last question, I want you to know that, I told her in the beginning that I was definitely going to be talking a lot. And, you know, it's definitely just because like I have such a deep love and respect for my mom. And, you know, every little thing that I am and have done that is positive, uh, you know, she's played a part in it, you know, even just from the little things that she has said over the years, from the discipline, from just me seeing her go to work and commit to something, from me seeing her work out, do her Taibo, right? That has it's impacted me. And you know, anybody who knows me knows that my work ethic comes from my mom, and so I'm just proud to be her son, and so that's why I talked a lot during this one. Okay, but my last question for you, Mom, is if you could have any superpower, what would it be, and what would your superhero name be?
Well, I sure can't say Need for Speed because people already tell me to slow down.
Okay.
Because I'm so fast at the job. My superpower,
Mhm.
well, well, you know what? Superwoman. I've had people to call me Superwoman.
So, okay, so Superwoman would be your name. Let me ask you, what would your main superpower be? Would it be to fly? Would it be super strength? Or would it be just something like totally
Oh,
different?
I'd have to say super strength.
Super strength? Why do you say super
Yes, because
strength?
I'm pretty strong. I've I've had plenty of folks to tell me, "Wow, you're strong." Yes, I am.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. She's confident. You know what though? She's not, you know, a lot of the people that tell her that she's strong, I'm sure they mean it in a physical way. But I'll tell you guys that,
Oh,
you know, she is very strong spiritually, very strong mentally. And you know, she's just an all-around strong superwoman. And so, you know, I'm definitely going to title this interview Ripple Effect Fatherhood hyphen My Hero. Okay. So that'll be the title of this when we post it on YouTube. Again, Mom, thank you so much for your time today and just for supporting what it is that Maddie and I are trying to do here. I know that this interview is going to touch somebody and impact them in a great way. And so I couldn't be more grateful for your time, and just your willingness to share from within, you know? So, Mom, we love you and we're very grateful for you. And guys, well, let me ask you, Mom, real quick. Did you have anything else that you wanted to add?
no,
Okay.
not yet.
All right, good, good, good. I know I kind of put you on the spot. I'm sure we'll have you on again
Okay.
at some point. I have some ideas later, so I'm sure we'll have you on again or speaking at some point. So don't even worry about it. Save the words because I think
Okay.
I spoke enough for both of us today. So,
All
but
right.
yes, all right, guys. So definitely, you know, if you took from this video or if you know somebody who can benefit from this video, please, I mean, regardless, just share positive content, right? There's too much negativity out there to not share the positive stuff. So like, share, and subscribe to us on, like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Share this interview on, you know, any social media platforms. Our Instagram name is at re.fatherhood. So go give us a follow on Instagram. We try to make sure we post daily. I'm new to, you know, getting into the social media thing. So we're trying to stay on top of it. But hey guys, more content coming to you soon. Again, my beautiful mother, Rachel COTTO, thanks again for being here, moms. All right, y'all have a good one. Y'all be blessed, and we'll see you soon.